Okay, we are recording. Sorry, I had to get a few things set up. But first of all, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We're so excited to have you guys, and we're so excited to share a little bit about the business with Plexus and hopefully give you guys, the idea behind this call is to give you guys a super authentic view of what Plexus is and what the business opportunity is, the ins and outs of it and everything like that. So first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Sarah Taylor, and I'm a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus, and what that means is that I have actually reached the top of our plan. I actually live here in Houston, Texas, and live with my husband, who is a Sapphire Ambassador. He's also an ambassador with Plexus. I love that about our business, that husband and wives can do this together. And I've been with Plexus for about 3 years now. I have 2 kids. I was in the corporate world before I became a stay-at-home mom of our kids, and I was a stay-at-home mom for about 2 years before I joined Plexus, and Plexus kind of fell into my lap. So I joined Plexus definitely for the discount. I never, ever, ever in my life intended to actually sell it, but I had actually fallen in love with the product. So I decided to give it a go, but I was a major skeptic of network marketing in particular when I started. I definitely did not understand network marketing. I didn't get it at all, and I definitely did not see it as a valid means of making a living. So I had kind of watched a bunch of my friends do different network marketing companies, and all of those companies were party-based. So I just kept seeing my friends doing these weekend parties, and I would show up and, of course, support them and purchase from them. But ultimately, my viewpoint of it was that it just seems like they were spending way more money on the parties and the inventory than they were making. And when Plexus came into my life, really and truly the last thing that I could have done at that point was get into a situation where I was spending more money than I was making, because that whole spend money to make money mentality, to put it bluntly, it's just something I could not afford to do at that point in time. So we just did not have the means to do that. We didn't have enough margin in our finances to do that. It was just impossible. We were definitely living paycheck to paycheck, and we had a huge mountain of medical debt from my 2 kids. And although my husband did have a wonderful job as a financial advisor, we were everything that was coming into our hands was actually going straight back out to pay off debt. So, and that's a scary thing to be in. A scary situation to be in, sorry. And I know that I am not the only one on this call that has kind of a skeptical viewpoint of network marketing. So like I said at the beginning of this call, our goal tonight is to help you understand exactly what this ambassador program is all about, the ins and outs of it, how it works, what you would be getting yourself into, and just all the information that we can possibly give. I don't want anybody to leave this call with an unrealistic viewpoint of what Plexus is. I want you guys to understand exactly what it is at each and every level. So one of the things that I love the most about our company is our executives. Alec Clark is our president of our company, and one of the things that he constantly says, and if you go up to our corporate office, it's plastered all over the place, is that their goal is to do network marketing the way it should be done and could be done, but rarely ever is. And you will see that all throughout their corporate office. You will see that just hallmarked in every single decision that they make, and really and truly they embody that viewpoint. These executives that run Plexus have spent their entire lives in network marketing as distributors. They came up as distributors in the network marketing industry, so they have seen the good, the bad, the ugly. They've worked for multiple different companies, and in fact the company that they left before they came and started Plexus was a situation where they dealt with a major comp plan change. They had reached the very top of their plan at that company, and the executives of that company came in and made a huge change that basically caused them to start back over again. It was that large of a compensation plan change. And they have said over and over and over that they are committed to never, ever letting that happen with Plexus. And so truly, they even have that in the will of like in their living will, saying that there will be no comp plan changes and the way it's all written out. I mean, they are very, very, very serious about that. So there's no doubt that we are, you know, in a very, very good company run by two credible well, not just two, there's a whole team of executives, but the two guys that started it and are backing Plexus are Charles and Alec, and they are amazing human beings. So we definitely feel in good hands with them and with their mission. And just, you know, so you guys obviously know, there is definitely no doubt that there is good network marketing companies and that there's some not so good ones for sure. So when you guys are choosing whether it's Plexus or another company, when you guys go and you're ready to make that decision on which company you want to join, I want to make sure that you guys are looking at all of these different features, because the one that you go with should definitely have a sustainable comp plan, one that benefits not only the people at the very top, because obviously if you're striving for the top of a company, you want it to be lucrative, right? You want it to be lucrative when you reach the top of the company, but you also want one that benefits every single level along the way. You want a company that's not necessarily front loaded, where you make all your money up front and then all of a sudden it's next to impossible to get on to the next levels. You want something that's equally balanced, that is paying well at every single level along the way, and that there's no false expectations set by that comp plan or anything along those lines. That's one of the things I absolutely love about the Plexus comp plan. Beyond that, you want to make sure that there are consumable products. So what do I mean by consumable products? So for instance, these are going to be products that people come back and the same customers want to purchase over and over and over again. So they're products that are actually being consumed by them. It's not jewelry or something along those lines. It's products that they're using and that you have repeat purchases with. That is what brings that residual income. So you're not out there looking for brand new customers every single month, every single quarter, however the compensation plan is paid out. You want to make sure that people are actually using and consuming those products. That brings that residual income. And you also want, of course, products that people need. And you don't want to cut off part of the population. So with Plexus, one of the things that I love is that we are great for men and women. We're great for people that are young, old. We're great for people, for, you know, pretty much every demographic that's out there. Everybody needs the products that we have. We're selling health and wellness products, and those are absolutely needed across the board, from the health advocate, the medical professional, all the way to the bodybuilder and to the workout enthusiast and advocate and the marathon runner and everybody in between. This is for the people that don't necessarily work out, all the way to the people that do. So just anybody and everybody our products are wonderful for. You also want a business that has a solid business plan and a plan for the future. And what I mean by that is a product plan, a global expansion plan, and solid leadership. And we have all of those things here within Plexus. We have a solid product implementation plan for the next 3 years that they have announced to us. And they have also announced that we are going to be starting our global expansion program in the second quarter of 2018. We are already right now in the United States, Australia, and Canada, and we're very, very excited to be starting our global expansion next year. So that's going to be absolutely wonderful. And then you want, of course, a company that's in solid standing. You don't want a company that's about to go bankrupt or anything along those lines. You want a company that can pay you and can bring you those paychecks and is in solid standing, then where they're the ones making the shots and making the decisions, not those that they owe debts to. And our company is debt-free, which is absolutely incredible. And we've been around a long time at this point. We have been around almost 10 years, and they say that the majority of network marketing companies fail in their first 5 to 7 years. So that is definitely something that you want to look at. So when I first started Plexus, like I told you guys, I was super, super concerned and super skeptical about the network marketing business. And I was very concerned in particular about the amount of money that I was going to have to put out in order to join the business. if I was going to have to, sometimes you look at those compensation plans and you see how much all these people make at different levels, but how much money are they actually having to reinvest that they have earned from the company? And that was where my concern was. Where are those hidden expenses? Do we have to carry inventory? How much am I going to have to reinvest that I'm making into this business? And as a mom, quite frankly, I was very concerned that I was going to have to be spending a lot of time away from my 2 kids. I was a stay-at-home mom, and when I joined Plexus, I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. And for me, I mean, I'm a mom full time, so I didn't want to take my weekends and nights to go away from my kiddos. So one of the things I love about Plexus is that we have absolutely no inventory. There is no investment that you have to make. There is no amount of inventory that you have to carry. The only things that we purchase are samples if we choose to give them out, and then the products that we're consuming ourselves. We do not have to carry any kind of inventory. We have no quotas. There's no, you're not going to be kicked out of the company or anything like that if you don't sell a certain amount of money or anything like that. There's nothing like that. There's no inventory. There's no quotas. We are not a party-based company, so you're not going to be spending those nights and weekends away from your families to host parties or do anything like that. The most we ever do is what you're seeing right here. We'll get on the video conference and do that kind of thing. But we are not a party-based company at all. That's not how we're paid. That's not how it works at all. And we have no forced purchases. And that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So you're not going to be sitting there spending, hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month just to stay active with our company at all. That is just not how it works. And one of the biggest things, if you've looked into any other network marketing companies out there, we are not a breakaway compensation plan. So that means if somebody underneath you comes in and they are just rocking this business and exploding, they're not moved out from underneath you if they outrank you. That is the beauty of this compensation plan. You actually want your people beneath you to succeed more than anything, because that just helps everybody. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And we also have no monthly fees or anything like that. And we have a very low cost to join. $34.95 is the cost to join. And then you have the option to purchase a welcome pack, which is your first month's products. So I could sit here and I could go through this compensation plan, all the nuts and bolts and everything like that. But when I thought about, what I want you guys to walk away from this call with, I want you guys to walk away with the authentic knowledge and authentic stories of people who are actually on my team and are at each of the levels in this company. And I want you guys to hear their stories and hear what they have to say about each of these levels and what they're seeing and what they are doing on a day-to-day basis and that kind of thing. So I want a realistic picture of each rank for you guys. I'm going to start off with one of my dear friends, Courtney Oldham. She is a Silver Ambassador, which is the first rank in Plexus. And just so you guys know, the average Silver Ambassador makes $5,000 a year, $5,083 to be exact. So that works out to about $400 a month on average. That's our average. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute her real quick. Hang on. Okay, Courtney, you are unmuted. We would love to hear a little bit about your experience and your just your thoughts as being a Silver Ambassador.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be here with you. Like Sarah said, I am a Silver Ambassador, the first rank in Plexus, and I am a mother of 2 under 2.5, which is a little scary. I am also the mother of 6 crazy, spunky animals. I am a former fitness competitor. I competed on the national level. And I also am a current trial lawyer. I work in the area of commercial litigation, so I work very long, stressful weeks. So this business is for everybody. I watched and sat idly by for about 2 years while I watched numerous friends reach wild success with Plexus, both health-wise and within the business. And at the time I was pregnant and realized food just wasn't cutting it. And for me, I wanted all natural, healthy stuff. I didn't want chemicals and fake things. So out of desperation, I turned to Plexus. And I can tell you that I saw truly, truly life-changing results on the products in my health. I was able to solve problems that I didn't even know were a problem, things that had become normal in my life. And through that, I began to share the products with others. When I first joined as an ambassador, I joined merely for the discount. I was a penny pincher. I'm a very frugal person, and I am a saver by nature. And so I wanted to save a few bucks. So I joined to save money on the products. What I got in return, I would have truly paid thousands of dollars for in my health and what I've been able to accomplish in the business. My sharing the business really was not about the money for me. That's been a blessing, but it was about really helping other people and letting them know that this thing called Plexus is for real, that it can help and it can solve both health problems and financial problems and set people up for the future. And so when I began sharing, I wanted to help others. And like I said, it's been a blessing financially for me. I'm able to pay for my products and my husband's, wives, that you get your husband, involved in the products too. If you're taking it, they get it too. So I'm able to pay for both my husband and my products every single month. And we're on most of the products that Plexus offers. I'm also able to pay for my husband's very expensive car every month on the Plexus income. So that has been amazing. And the real reward for me, though, is being able to transform people's lives. The phone calls I get, the text messages I get, the hugs I get that are, like, I know that sounds silly to get teary-eyed, but having friends whose health is like huge transformations that they're experiencing, new moms, moms who are nursing their children, to women that I have met in their 60s and 70s, and men as well, whose lives are truly transformed by the products, has been why I share. Yes, I look towards the day that I am able to spend more time with my children, that I'm not working 60, 70-hour weeks as a regular. But again, I do love my job. I love what I do, and so I do hope that one day I am able to accomplish that. Sarah mentioned network marketing snob. I don't even know if snob reaches the level of where I was at before I joined Plexus. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was for people who, quote unquote, couldn't get a real job, who couldn't hold a real job. And I learned pretty quickly that all the products that we all buy are true network marketing. I buy most of my products based on what my friends' experiences have been. I hire people who, my gardener or people that I actually work with in my law firm, based on other people's experiences with them. And network marketing and Plexus is absolutely no different. I would much rather put the money in my friends' pockets in a small business than I would in a big box store. And I truly believe that Plexus is absolutely no different in that way. You're able to help a friend, or in this case, help yourself in your financial freedom. And that's what Plexus can offer, is both health and financial freedom. And I thought, what do I say is how to wrap that up in a few sentences. And I want to say, don't make the same mistake that I did. Don't sit by for 2 years and be me. Don't continue to let your health suffer. Don't continue to sit in the same box and be in a place where you're like, I wish I did this. I wish I would have done that. Give it a try. The great thing is that Plexus offers a freedom to so many different issues, and it's worth a try. It really is.
Thank you so much, Courtney. I love her testimony. She's one of those people that, if nothing else ever would have happened with Plexus, her health transformation has been so incredibly worthwhile for me. So I love it. And she's so right. It's about the people that we're helping more than anything. So I'm going to invite my next friend on here, the amazing Jen Buckley. She's a gold ambassador on our team. And so gold ambassadors within Plexus average $12,276 per year. So that's a little over $1,000 per month with Plexus, according to our average income disclosure. So Jen, I have unmuted you, and if you could tell us a little bit about your experience as a gold ambassador.
Definitely. Hey guys, so Jen, like Sarah just said, I'm a mom of two as well, 4.5 and 2.5. When I started this journey, it actually is funny because I ignored my friend, and you'll hear her later, Amy, for an entire year. I wanted nothing to do with the products. I wanted nothing to do with the company. I thought she had gone off the deep end. I almost blocked her, but I'm glad that I didn't. I started my journey for health reasons of things that overwhelming fear, we'll put it that way. And never in my once did I think that it would transform my life in the way that it did, because it's changed the way that I feel about myself, the motivation, how I am as a mom, how I am as a wife, how I am as a friend. But then when I started to get into the business side of it, it transformed my life even more. My first month, I was able to do something within our company called Fast Start Gold, which is a phenomenal program that they have with sharing. That's all you do is you share, and that's what I did. My first 30 days, I went to park play dates, and I talked to my friends and told them about how I was feeling and the transformations I saw in other people. And it was absolutely amazing to see how easily it was able to be done. I never felt like I was selling anything, because I'm not a salesperson. I will attest to what Courtney said, as network marketing snob to the highest degree. I thought, you can't get a job, that's what you do. They're scamming you, so that's what you do. You're going to give your money to people and not get anything in return. But this whole business side has been so rewarding. I was able to take my children to Disneyland in December, something that I never thought I would be able to do. I'm able to take the stress off my husband and pay a good portion of our bills each month. I was a stay-at-home mom before I did this, so the money really wasn't a big thing, but it has allowed us to have the freedoms of me not having to worry about, should I budget in play date stuff to go to the museum and things like that. It allows me to not have to worry about those things. The groceries is the biggest thing. To see the less stress come off my husband's face is amazing. And for some people, it's time. For some people, it's relieving some stress off their significant others. I actually made more recently last month that I did when I worked full time, working 50 to 60 hours a week, before I had kids, not sleeping, not doing anything. And the nice part about it is I was able to do it in the nooks and crannies of my day. I didn't feel stuck to a computer. I was still at the park playing. I was at the aquarium with my kids, helping people change their lives. I'm a fitness instructor by trade. I teach spin classes, and I love to help people, and that's what drives me. The money really isn't what drives me. What drives me is being able to help people and see their lives transform, seeing my friends and family either be able to quit their job and move into a new home, which somebody on my team is able to do, and it brought me to tears because she was able to do this by this company, by being able to share what she loves and how it's helped her. There's so many things within my life have changed, but overall rewarding is seeing other people's lives change.
I love it. Thank you so much, Jen. And I agree with you. I mean, when I started this, my husband was the sole income provider, and that's a very, very stressful job. And so to be at home every day with the kids and to be able to not, harm that and to still be the stay-at-home mom, but to actually contribute to the finances as well is so rewarding and so relieving. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm going to invite up next Marion Noon. She is one of the senior golds on my team. I've just unmuted you, Marion. So if you're there, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about your experience.
Yeah. Hey guys. So it's funny because I never actually thought I would have a business testimony to share. I, number one, was super scared like everybody else on this team. because I have a history and I never thought some silly products from some MLM could help me feel better, right? But I had some pretty severe health issues, which, this isn't about health, but I did end up dropping 10 prescriptions. And what drove me to Plexus was my neighbor, Amy, and y'all will hear from her. Sarah and Amy are both my neighbors. Well, they were. But Amy, her endocrinologist, approved Plexus and was thrilled about Plexus. So that kind of clued me in. I was like, okay, well, if an endocrinologist is good with this, then I'm good with this. And at that point, I was on 10 prescriptions with fibromyalgia, migraines, IBS. I mean, the list goes on and on. Anxiety. So I decided to give it a go. I actually did not start sharing the products till probably 6 to 8 months into my journey, and that's my biggest regret. Because I had a friend that asked me about it maybe like 2 months into it, and if I would have shared the products with her in the beginning, I would be enrolled with a free Lexus going to Hawaii for free right now. But I chose not to share, and that's my choice, right? So anyway, after that, probably about 6 to 8 months into my journey, when I dropped my prescriptions, everyone in my network started noticing. I'm a mommy of 4, and I'm high school weight, and I dropped all the prescriptions. So I just honestly started sharing. And I remember one month, Amy messaged me, and she's like, hey, you've added 6 people this month to your team. That's really awesome. I don't know if you realize that. And I didn't, because I'm not a salesperson. And that's exactly the main reason why I did not want to do this, because I thought that I would have to be all salesy, right? But it's not that at all. It's sharing. And I was just sharing my results in my journey, and also the results in the journey of everybody else that I knew, in my network that had been taking Plexus. And it just kind of happened. And it happened that way for a while. I was married to a man that made $250,000 a year. I had a big, beautiful home. I drove a very fancy, expensive car. I had a pool and a tiki hut and all of these fancy things. So money did not drive me. It was, the healing factor, the fact that I found this healing in my body, and I wanted people to find this as well. So I just kind of shared my own experience. And then, ironically, Plexus has actually provided a living for me that I never expected. So I have 4 kids. My baby's 7 months old. When I was pregnant, I found out my husband was having an affair with my best friend. This was the second affair, and I was, pregnant, vulnerable, afraid, didn't want to jump out of it. I didn't know what to do. I had become accustomed to that life, right? After I had my baby, I had a stripper call me and tell me that she had been with my husband for 2 years, at which point I made the decision to up and leave with my 4 children, and now I'm a single mother of 4. I did not know the gravity of residual income until I chose to make that jump. I have not received a cent of child support from him in, 5 months now. And I've been supporting my 4 kids on my own with Plexus, with an accidental residual income that I had no idea I was building, that I was just sharing from a passion because I found healing within my own body. And my income right now, guys, if I did not have this, I would not be able to do what I'm doing. And I'm incredibly grateful. And I'm not giving up, and I'm going to the top, because the best part about it to me is I've not had to put my 4 children in daycare. I'm able to stay home with them and work. Yes, sometimes, it gets stressful.
Okay, I think we lost her, unfortunately. But if you can still hear me, Marian, thank you so much. And I know, that took a lot of guts for her to share all of that with us. And as her friend and neighbor, I have seen her go through this, and it's been completely heartbreaking. And whether you like it or not, when you sign up for Plexus, you do sign up on this team and get a whole family of support. And that's one of the greatest blessings that's come from this, beyond financial, but to watch her be able to actually make that decision and have a plan B, and to be okay and to be stable has been just so rewarding. And you just never know when those life circumstances are going to happen. And, you know, it's an absolutely incredible thing to have a fallback plan, even if you don't think that you're ever going to need it. I'm going to turn it now over to my sweet friend, Jen Rand. She is a Ruby ambassador on my team. Jen, if you're, I think I just unmuted you. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. That's an amazing story from Marion. And I'm going to echo, I think, what almost everyone has said, or everyone that I was, and I think Courtney said that the silver ambassador who spoke, that she couldn't even, on the spectrum of like being a network marketing snob, she was off the charts. And that's how I was. I was such a huge skeptic about it. I, was the person who would go to the parties, the jewelry party or whatever, and kind of roll my eyes and buy like the cheapest thing to support my friend. And I honestly never really saw anyone before Plexus like really succeed at network marketing. So I was just a snob about it. I come from a corporate background as well, like you, Sarah. I worked in public relations and marketing for over 20 years in a variety of different settings. And I also thought that network marketing was something that people did who maybe didn't want to get like a real job or couldn't get a real job, which is so snobby, but that's really how I felt. And I got started with Plexus out of desperation on the health side, like a lot of people. I saw my friend Taryn post about it for months and months, and she's going to speak on this call too, and she can tell you how much of a skeptic I was. But I finally got started because I had a terrible doctor's appointment. I felt like just desperate to try something. I needed to lose some weight. I was feeling old, all these other things. So I thought, well, I just am going to give it a try, and if I have to give the products back and get my money back, I will. But what I found was completely different. The products really worked for me. I saw them work for my friends. I, realized that a few things. I knew that I had friends that could benefit from them just like I was benefiting. I didn't even tell my husband that I was taking the products when I first started. I kind of like hid the money and I hid the products themselves. I didn't even tell him. So after a couple of months, I realized, well, I see Taryn's telling me like I can at least get my products paid for, and that would make me feel better about it because I'm going to want to keep taking these because I feel so good. I'm seeing results. And the other thing is I started being on these team pages and seeing all this activity and people succeeding and people moving up. And I have a little bit of a competitive side. And so I kind of started thinking, well, this company is like really going places. So I just want to, if my friends are going to start on Plexus, I want them to be getting it from me, not from someone else, honestly, just being blunt. So that was kind of a part of it too. But I've been thinking about it lately and sort of where my skepticism came from. And I've been laughing about it because I was thinking about these different jobs that I've had, like corporate jobs, and what I've promoted. And I made like a little list of different things that I've promoted in PR and marketing. Politicians, prescription drugs, big banks, gas and electric utilities, restorative drying equipment, municipal insurance. Like those are some of the things that I was so proud to promote. And I never second guessed. I never thought, oh, I'd be embarrassed to tell someone that I promote this or that. So I think that's kind of funny that with this, I realized like, this is something that's really helping people. I'm seeing my family members, my friends have such great results with it. Like, why wouldn't I share with it? And why am I not proud of it? And the other thing I started thinking a lot about was, just kind of like the business model and why I was skeptical about that, and what I really, what kind of were my frustrations with sort of corporate jobs and what I'm getting out of this. And, some of the things, if I wrote down a list of what I would want out of an ideal job, this network marketing with Plexus is like all of those things. Because some of the things that frustrated me about jobs before were, not having the opportunity to move up, maybe not, getting the raises that I felt like I deserved. In some environments, they were highly competitive where you were competing against people for promotions. And in this industry and with Plexus, what I love about it so much, those are some of the things that I really love, is that, what we put into it is we're in control of our own promotions. We're in control of our own career. And we can take this wherever we want to take it. And it's what time you put into it and what effort and what you're willing to do as far as being coachable and do the trainings and things like that. It's really up to us. And I think that's just the great thing about it to me. I also, for the past 8.5 years or so, I've had my own business doing PR, and I've worked alone. So something that I kind of didn't realize that I was missing a lot was working with other people and working as a team. And I love that. I love working with my friends. I mean, I'm working with, my neighbor and my best friend and my sister-in-law, and I've got like this whole amazing team, and I just love that. I love the camaraderie of it. I love the trips we go on. I just think it's super rewarding, and yes, it's great just to help people and all of that, but just as far as a career standpoint, I would say that even out of any of the other jobs I've had throughout my career, this has been by far the most rewarding. And as far as the income, and I know you're going through like what the average income is per rank. I'm not at a diamond yet. I will be, and I know it varies from rank to rank. For me, I'm Ruby now, and I am able to pay our mortgage, which is a huge, huge blessing. And my husband works full time; he has a great job. But it's been really important to me to contribute to our family income. And this is a way that I can do it, where I can stay home. I'm not paying for any childcare for my daughter. I'm able to do it when she's kind of doing her own thing. And it takes taking some of that pressure off of my husband has been just really, really good. I mean, it's been amazing. So, yes, I would just tell anyone, I'm coming from this kind of corporate background like you, Sarah, but don't be a snob about it. Take a close look at it. Look at our compensation plan, because it really is, beyond fair. I'm 100% reformed, snob, skeptic. I love it, and I'm excited to keep going forward.
I love it. Thank you, Jen. And I love the corporate perspective, because that's actually the background I come from too. And it's really easy to look at this and have that snob kind of mentality, because you do view it as something, different than what you're doing. It is different, but it is, an absolutely lucrative way. What I love is that there's so much of a sense of satisfaction from what I'm doing right now. Not only am I pouring into people, but I'm helping them get healthy. And you guys, I came from a background where I was selling telecommunications services. That's not, that's not adding a whole lot of value to anybody's day. I might be saving some money on, telecommunication services. And I also come from an IT recruiting background. But, both of those things didn't give me the sense of satisfaction that this does. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
And you telling me, I forgot that, when I introduced Marion, the average the average income level for a senior gold ambassador, which is what Marion is making, is $22,000 a year, which is about $1,800 a month. For Jen's rank, a Ruby rank, the average income is $35,000. And, that's our 4th level within Plexus, and $2,900 a month. So it's definitely very lucrative, and definitely an opportunity in and of itself, no matter how you want to look at it. So thank you so much, Jen. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next friend. This is actually Melissa Bonesteel. I actually knew her from my corporate career. She was one of my coworkers. She is a senior Ruby ambassador, and the average senior Ruby ambassador makes $55,000 a year, which equates to about $4,600 a month. I'm going to go ahead and unmute her. Melissa, are you there?
I am. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm excited to be here to share with you tonight. Like Sarah said, we used to work together in the past, so I am still working a full-time job and managing a Plexus business that's been quite successful, and raising 2 children. Also have a spouse, which is very helpful because he does a lot for me. But, I remember the very first message when I was talking to Sarah back and forth, and my first thought was, I'm going to sign up for the discount. And my husband said, you should try to work the business, because my husband really likes money. And he was really hoping that I would give him a lot of money. And I said, no, I'm not going to work the business. That is not me. I'm not a salesperson. I don't do that kind of, and I, like many others on the call, was absolutely a network marketing snob. And I really, to be honest, didn't know a lot about it. And I think that that's where a lot of people are with it. They don't know enough. And so it scares them. And so I told Sarah, because I guess I was intrigued. And so I asked her a couple questions about the business before I even signed up as an ambassador for the wholesale discount. And she said, oh, you would be amazing at this. And I'm like, look, Sarah, I do not have time for this because I work full time. I am a benefits manager for an oil and gas company. So it is a demanding job. It is very, very busy. And I definitely, and I don't even know if I told her this at the time, but I definitely would have said, I do not have a network. I do not. Once I had children, I got married, I was one of those people that really just did everything with my family. I didn't do a lot with friends anymore. And so even the relationships I had, like in the past, they were not, present friendships. And so I really would have said I have maybe a network of coworkers, but that's about it. Some neighbors. But I pretty quickly got the bug. I'm not going to lie. Like I started and I very quickly went silver. And Jennifer mentioned this too, I'm very competitive. So being on the team pages, that really, I was like, oh, I can do this. If you can do this, I can do this. And so it really, really helped me a lot because I just enjoyed it. Sarah was really good with me because she knew that I was just kind of like, we'll see. I don't know if I really want to do this. So she never really pushed me to do anything. It was just, I saw training calls on the team page. I saw information, and I am that type of person that if there's information, I'm going after it. Like I want to know everything. And then as I started listening to opportunity calls and hearing everything, I was definitely intrigued. Like it really got my attention because I thought, okay, if I'm going to do something like this, this really ties my passions together because I also ran a wellness program for my company. So I love health and wellness. It was my favorite part of my role at the time when I started Plexus. And so it really, and I thought of myself as a very healthy and fit person, was very passionate about health and wellness. So I thought that part was a good fit. The other piece I, over time, realized is that I love, my favorite part of my job at work is leadership. Coaching my employees, developing them, helping them see what they could become in a corporate world. And so I get to do that every day with Plexus. Like that to me, being able to coach team members and help them see their true potential and vision of what the future could bring, and maybe I'll help them see that, like that's huge for me. And so being able to tie my health and wellness background or my passion for health and wellness with my love for coaching and leadership, it's been like a perfect fit for me. And then the last piece, which, kind of developed for me over time, and I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning, I've been doing this about 2.5 years now. And it wasn't instant that I wanted to do this, but a little ways down the road, I started realizing, okay, I can do this. I'm capable of doing this. When I first started, I told Sarah I wanted to make a few $100s a month. I wanted to be able to have money that I could spend without my husband telling me I couldn't spend it. That was my goal. That was it. And I work full time. So, I really can spend money, but that was just a little extra that I didn't want anybody to have control over. And this has turned into something where I realized that, I feel like I'm about to get emotional, so sorry, but I didn't even realize that since my first child was born, when she was born, I was looking everywhere for an opportunity where I could work from home. Because the idea of leaving her, it crushed me. Like it was awful. And I thought, you know what? I went back to work. I'll get over it. Well, she just turned 11 this week, guys. I'm not over it. Like I'm still not over it. And I thought, I pushed it down. I pushed it down and I thought I was okay. And I thought I was going after this dream, this corporate, climbing the corporate ladder job, because I have tons of crazy drive. I can work and work and work. And I love to work. But I don't want to do that and not be a part of my kids. I work downtown, so I'm gone 12 hours a day. So I don't get that quality time. And the time I get is so incredibly rushed. So what I've realized through all of this is it. This is what I have been looking for. This is what I have been searching for since my sweet Kate was born. And I now get that with Plexus. And I will be able to replace my income with this and be home and do this from anywhere and volunteer for my kids at school, go have lunch with them whenever I want without them having to beg me to leave early so I can probably get there on time and hope and pray I do. Life-changing. And I get, like, by far, I've worked in so many different fields, so many. Best job ever. Best job ever. So that's all I have to say tonight. I hope it was helpful.
Thank you, Melissa. And I just have to say, Melissa and I, we obviously worked together at one of the jobs that she mentioned. And we hadn't really kept up with each other during that time. And so she wasn't one of those people that when I signed up with Plexus, I thought, oh, I'm going to call Melissa and she's, I'm going to get her to sign up with me. That's not how it was at all. She truly did just come to me because she wanted to try out the products for some health issues that she had going on. Nothing more, nothing less. And it's those kind of people, you can't discount your network. You have no idea who in your network actually this could benefit from a health standpoint, from a business standpoint, from anything. And she's honestly the last person in the world that I thought would ever want to do this full time. I thought she was on the corporate career track because that's how I knew her. And it's been incredible to get to know her on a totally different level. And now both of us get to work in a capacity where we were working at our old jobs with the mentorship, the leadership development, that kind of thing, and still do that in this setting. It's such a cool thing. So thank you, Melissa, for sharing. And I'm going to now introduce you guys to Taryn. I went to college with Taryn. She was one of my sorority sisters, and she's an Emerald Ambassador on my team. And what an Emerald Ambassador is, it's kind of the level that everybody is striving for when you join Plexus. It is the level where you get your first Lexus, you get your first trip to Hawaii paid for, you get profit sharing in the company. It's kind of that first jewel level within Plexus. The average Emerald makes $112,891, which is about $9,400 a month. And Taryn, I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell a little bit about her story. But you there, Taryn?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, great. This always makes me so nervous. But thank you. So yes, I am an Emerald Ambassador, and I got started with Plexus because I had continuously watched Sarah and our other friend Amanda, who is on this call, who's a Sapphire, and a bunch of our other college friends love these Plexus products. And I literally had thought they lost their minds, but I was like, good for them. They're doing this thing. And I was also a big network marketing snob. I was a huge supporter of every single one of my friends who did network marketing because we are a military family, and that's a really big thing that people get into because we move around and people have to change jobs, and so it's just a way for people to make money. So I always went to the parties and always bought products from them, but I always told myself I could never do this. I am an introvert. I'm scared of asking people to have parties for me. I have no time at all. I have 2 little babies. Now I have 3 little boys, ages 4, 2.5, and 1. They're close together. They're home with me all day long. And I thought, I just don't know how people have time, how they do this. And to be honest, I don't know that they really make that much money for all the time that they put into this. And it just seemed, it seemed unrealistic for me in our situation. But I had quit my job working as a nurse when we had our first baby, because I knew I always wanted to be at home with them, at least for the first few years. And going down to one income put a lot more strain on our lifestyle than we had expected. And we were okay, but we weren't happy. It was the same as I think maybe Jen mentioned, like always stressing about the grocery bills and diapers and all of these things. And it was just really, really tight and really frustrating. And I remember we had a bunch of conversations, and my husband was like, well, maybe you could pick up some per diem shifts. I was like, but who's going to watch these children? I'll make as much in a shift as childcare is going to cost. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know what to do. And I remember I kept watching Sarah and Amanda and Amber and some other friends of ours, and we went to college with Courtney. You heard from her as well. And I was like, they are actually making money at this. Like, Sarah posted that she was able to pay her mortgage. I don't know anyone who has done network marketing and been able to pay their mortgage. Like, if I could pay our mortgage, that would be huge for us. My reason that I started with this to share these products was because not necessarily financial. Yes, we were strained, but I love to help people. I love health. I love just loving on others. And more than anything, I love what my husband sacrificed all the time, because he knew that me being home with our kids made me happy. And he said, if you don't want to do it, then you can stay home and we will make this work. But I saw the stress in him all the time. Like, oh, it makes me tear up. So anyways, I was also incredibly exhausted. I was stressed beyond max, and I had some anxiety and a bunch of other issues happening and going on. And I was like, well, I'm just going to try these products because my friends are loving them. So I tried them. I realized that they would be incredibly beneficial for my dad and my mother-in-law and a few other people that I knew. And I was terrified to actually say, I'm going to sell these products. I actually didn't even tell my husband at first because I knew he'd flip out on me, because he was a huge network marketing, like, no, you don't do that. We don't do that. You don't get involved with that. Like, absolutely not. We're going to shut this down. And he would make fun of me to no end. He loves me to pieces, but I know that the jokes would be never ending. And he'd be like, are you serious? You spent our money on that? But I remember Amanda encouraged me, kind of nudged me to finally post on Facebook. And that was so out of my comfort zone. But I didn't realize how many people I know that actually needed these products and were looking for something to help them. And they just don't talk about it when we're on play dates, or they don't talk about it when we're sitting and having a cup of coffee, because nobody talks about the fact that they're constipated all the time, or they struggle with eating bags of sugar in their closet and then shaming themselves and like crying because they can't lose the weight, but they can't get off sugar and caffeine and all these things. And I was like, you know what? There's a need, a real need. And if I can be vulnerable and get out of my little comfortable bubble, then I can truly make an impact on people's lives. And the amount of joy this has brought has been unreal. Just the fact that Sarah and Amanda have believed in me and grown me, I have just grown so much just through a lot of insecurities, a lot of self-doubt. I've seen what I'm capable of doing and being as a person and a friend and a mom and as a leader, and I'm apparently emotional. And this Plexus family has just been, it's been more than a network marketing thing. It's been a real family, a real bond, and a real safe place that as we move from place to place, I always have my Plexus family. And it's just amazing the way that we empower one another and love on each other and support each other. I never knew that's what network marketing could be. And so financially, I noticed that it was last Christmas when it is after we had gone to Hawaii, and my husband was like, holy cow, I cannot believe that they literally just put on that trip for all of us. And they are a debt-free company. He's like, this blows my mind. And I was like, I know, they really spoil us. That. And then it was last Christmas when he made a statement and he almost broke down, like his eyes welled up. And he was like, I can't thank you enough for doing something that you never thought you could do and that I never believed in, because you have literally changed our financial future. Like, we have 3 college funds with a good amount of money in them for our 3 little boys that we never believed we could do. We have like a safety net. We have so many things that we never dreamed we could do just on one income. And it's all because I got a little uncomfortable and I put myself out there and I got to help people. So it's just unreal. It's so unreal what this opportunity and this can do. And it seems so silly to say how it can impact you that much, but the support, the team, like just everything, it's incredible. It's phenomenal. And it really is possible for anyone. Because like Sarah said, these products are something that everyone needs. And this is just, it's really a game changer. So I hope that helps.
Thank you, Taryn. Thank you, friend.
Mm-hmm.
She's right. I've never met a group of more supportive people. The men and the women on our team are absolutely just incredible. It blows my mind every single day because I know I can turn to anybody within Plexus, not just on our team, but anybody within Plexus. We're not competitive in our teams either, and get help. I can call up anybody from another team and ask them to do anything, and they're all over it. And it's so refreshing because all the other positions that I had before this, there was politics and there was competition and there was, all of that. It was never this supportive family feeling, and I love it. And I love that your husband is so grateful for that financial help too. That's makes me so happy. So, next, I'm going to introduce you guys to my dear friend, I almost said friend, Amy Welch. She actually lives here in my neighborhood, but I'm sure she'll tell you, we had no idea who each other were before this started. She was actually a stranger to me. She's now a Sapphire on my team, and Sapphire Ambassadors make an average of $190,000 at $190,644, which equates to about $15,887 per month. So it's an incredible income level for anybody. And Amy, are you there to be able to share with us?
I am. Hey guys. So I have to tell you that, it is Sunday, and before Plexus, I would have the Sunday anxiety. I noticed I still have my sunglasses on my head and my sundress on because we actually are still out in the pool. My niece and nephew are in town from Ohio. But before, I come from corporate America, I would have that Sunday night anxiety. And you'll hear as part of my story tonight that I don't have that anymore. And that's been a huge Plexus blessing. But like Sarah said, her and I were strangers on the internet. You've heard tonight that almost everyone was a skeptic. I was as well. I was also a supplement snob. I thought you just had to eat healthy and go to the gym and you'd be fine. My husband is a scientist, so he was super skeptical, but I was also that network marketing snob. I am embarrassed now to say that I thought it was for people who couldn't get a real job, didn't want a real job, didn't want to make any money. I was in corporate America. I went to graduate school. I worked hard. I worked for 15 years towards my career and my salary and my reputation. I'd written a couple of books. And so when Plexus came along, it was really by accident. I wanted to get out of my commute. I didn't want to quit my job, even though I had a baby at home and the commute was killing me. And I was convinced that if I got out of the commute, then everything would be great. I was scared to be a stay-at-home mom because I wanted something that was part of my identity, and it kind of terrified me to not have something that was my own. So I actually posted on a Facebook group, our neighborhood page, that I'd really never been on before, and I just asked if anybody knew of any big employers over by us, because my commute was about an hour on each end. And this girl who I'd never met before, had no reason to know her, she commented Plexus. I rolled my eyes. I said, no thanks, said no several times. And then she said, that's okay, this is different. That was enough to pique my interest. And I said, I tell you what, just send me to your website. She said, no. She said, but I'll tell you about it if you give me your phone number. So I did. I gave her my phone number. Guess what I did? I ignored her calls for 9 days. And so I am just thankful that she is persistent enough, because when we finally got on the phone, she started talking about the health benefits of the products. I had an autoimmune disease. My husband had a couple of health issues. So that's why I tried the products. I actually came home and I told my husband, I said, hey, we're going to drink this little pink drink that I bought today online from a stranger. And I said, but don't tell anybody because I don't think it's going to work. And he was like, yeah, no problem. I don't want to tell anybody you bought some crazy drink off a stranger on the internet. No problem. Well, within our first 30 days, I didn't need naps and I didn't need caffeine. And those were my means of survival at the time. And that was life-changing. So I started sharing with my friends because that's what I do. I'm an oversharer. And I just told them, hey, if you guys have been using this and you haven't told me, like, I'm mad at you because it's amazing. And when I started sharing with my friends, then they wanted to try it. And I remember one of the first people who wanted to try it, I tried to send him to Sarah's website because I still didn't want to work this business. And she was like, no, you could do this. And she showed me her paycheck. And she was Ruby at the time. And when I saw that paycheck, I thought, you know what? That might be enough for me to get out of this commute. It wasn't close to what I was making in my career. Because again, that took me 15 years and a master's degree, but I thought it might be enough to at least give me some options. And, you know, guys, I didn't have a ton of friends on Facebook. I'm kind of an outgoing person, but I was really private on Facebook because I worked in law enforcement and I just assume everybody's crazy. So unless I really know you, I didn't let you be my Facebook friend. So I didn't have a ton of Facebook friends when I started sharing, and I didn't use Instagram or anything else. I just started sharing with my close kind of inner circle. And in 8 months doing that, I actually surpassed the salary that took me 15 years to make. So in 8 months on Plexus, I surpassed that salary and we were blown away. So our life plan for our family has completely changed. Not only did I get out of that commute, I don't have to go into an office anymore. My, vacation time is not dependent on somebody else's approval. My promotions are not dependent on somebody else's approval, or if it's in the budget, or if we can give raises this year, right? And so I quit my job. I work from home now, and our future is completely different. In our life plan, my husband was always going to be the breadwinner. Even though I made really good money, he works for big oil and gas. His degree, I had a master's in social work, but now that's completely flipped. I ranked a Sapphire on my 1-year anniversary and matched what he was making. So it has just opened up so much opportunity for our family. It just blows us away to think about it. My husband's actually a senior Ruby. He works the business. So you heard from a senior Ruby. So we also have that income in our family now. So we're very fortunate when our 3-year-old, we can have a college fund for her now, and we can just go on a whim, take all of these trips and just give her experiences that before we either would have to save or work really hard or not be able to do it or have to put it off. And now we can just do it on the fly. But one thing that I think Sarah mentioned were the relationships in this business. I was pretty skeptical in the beginning too when I joined, thinking it's sales, they're going to be competitive and cutthroat. And to be perfectly honest, even though we do have plenty of men working the business, my husband, Sarah's husband, we are dominated by women. And I know I've worked in an office of women before, and sometimes they can be not so nice, right? Like women sometimes are very competitive with each other. And I have to tell you, when I hit my second promotion in Plexus, I fast started. So I hit the first 2 promotions in my first month. Sarah took me out to celebrate. Like, she was like, no, we're going right now tonight to celebrate. And her and I hadn't even met but a couple of times. And I was just so blown away by that somebody else was celebrating my success. Whereas in my old job, if I got promoted, it wasn't something you talked about because people would be jealous. And, so that kind of no competition, everybody's so supportive. They want you to do well. And now Sarah is one of my best friends. Here in 2 weeks, our families, without our kiddos, but we're getting ready to go live in an RV for a week and see Alaska. They're some of our closest friends. And I can't imagine what our lives would be if I hadn't said yes to Plexus, even as a skeptic. So keep in mind, even though I went ahead and ordered, I was still a skeptic, and that's okay. You can still be a skeptic and try it. So it just, it might change your life.
Thanks, Amy. Yeah, she's so right. I mean, she definitely, and I would say the majority of the people on my team have been skeptics. my team is made up of people from all walks of life. Some people that I knew before Plexus, some people that I didn't, some people that I've known since my childhood, and some people that, you know, are basically strangers to me. And it has been so fun to expand my circle of friends. I mean, that's been one of the most unexpected, I think, blessings of this, because I didn't jump into this knowing anything about network marketing. This is my very first network marketing experience. And so I didn't come into this with any sort of training, any sort of anything, any sort of knowledge of what to do even. In fact, I didn't understand the comp plan the first month. I didn't understand that there was such a thing as Fast Start Gold, so I missed it by one person. And, you know, it's one of those things that, like, I wasn't setting out to make this a business. I wasn't setting out to make it anything more than some weight loss for me. And I thought it was a weight loss company even at that point. I didn't understand the products in their entirety. And so my rank is Diamond, and the average salary the average income for Diamond is $429,259, which is an average of $35,000 a month. My husband is Sapphire, which is the same rank as Amy. And in Plexus, when you hit the top of the company, they don't make you stop there. They let you go and re-enter underneath yourself and do it all over again. So on my second position, I am senior gold, hoping to hit ruby here in the next month or so. But that is what I love about this company, is that the sky is the limit, and it has changed me as a person so much. When I started Plexus, I was shy. I was not a leader. I never, ever, ever viewed myself as a leader in any sort of capacity. I was total individual contributor in all of my other positions. I was, you know, a very competitive person, but I was always an individual contributor. I was not somebody that was teaching others anything. And this has really just blown what I thought of myself, you know, out of the box. I've been able to grow as a person so much, but not only that, what I found joy in the most is growing others as well. So growing my team members, seeing them succeed, bringing them success and celebrating them, and having fun along the way. I have a major, major aspect to my personality where I love to travel. I absolutely love to travel. And we have been able to do that because of Plexus. But not only that, I was able to retire my husband. He worked for JP Morgan previous to Plexus and was a financial advisor. And I've been able to bring him home and have 2 present parents with our kids. And for us, that is the single most rewarding thing that could have ever happened to us, because we love our kids. I mean, they're everything. That's what we live for. That's what we do. And for him to be able to come home, we've had a lot of deaths in the family that have, my dad died, his dad died, our nephew has passed away, all since my daughter was born. And it's really opened our eyes to the fact that tomorrow is not promised. And so we want to make the best of today. And that's what Plexus has allowed us to do. It's allowed us so much. And so just to dream bigger, to do more, to be more present, and to not suffer from the stress of financial obligations. Now, I told you guys at the beginning of this call, I wanted you guys to realize the authentic story at each of these levels. Now, to go from silver to diamond does not happen overnight, and it does take work. It's not a lottery, and there is, time and effort that has to be put in, but at the same time, it's as much or as little as you want to make it, and that's what I love about this. You don't have to join this and want to go diamond. Nobody is going to make you do that. You join this and you go at whatever pace that you want. You join this and you do whatever you want, and there's no stress, there's no timetable, there's no just that whole you've got to promote. It's not like that. And I love that about this company and about the opportunity, because you can make it what you want to make it. So I want to encourage you guys to ask whoever invited you guys on this call all the questions, all of them. Get all of your questions answered, but you have nothing to lose. There is a 60-day money-back guarantee. It costs $34.95 to join, and the welcome packs right now through tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time are discounted to the lowest I've seen them ever discount them. So definitely check that out and talk to your sponsor. But there is a 60-day money-back guarantee on that welcome pack even. So you guys are not going to be out tons and tons of money, and that closet back there is not full of tons of crazy inventory or anything like that. You guys can make this what you want and have fun with it and help other people get healthy, or keep it to yourself. You don't have to promote it to sign up either. You can keep it to yourself and nobody's gonna know. But you just might love it enough that you want to tell a couple friends about it. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. That's all I've got. But we are so excited for you guys, and we cannot wait to see where your Plexus journey takes you. Thank you. Bye.